Beckham Jr. will not set foot on a field for the Giants or any other team without a new contract. Odell is in the last year of his rookie deal, and he played just 4 games last year after breaking his ankle. He's also had a bunch of off-the-field issues, the latest being a video of Odell in bed with a woman in Paris with what appeared to be drugs present. Giants owner John Mara was asked about Odell at the owners' meeting yesterday. Let's take a listen.
I think too often he allows himself to get put in bad situations, and he needs to use a little better judgment. I said before that I'm tired of answering questions about Odell's behavior and what the latest incident is, and I think he knows what we expect of him, and now it's up to him.
When you say nobody's untouchable, can you foresee him not being on the team this year?
I can't answer that one way or the other. I mean, we're certainly not shopping him, if that's what you're asking. But again, when you're coming off a season where you're 3-13 and played as poorly as we played, then I wouldn't say that anybody's untouchable.
We're joined by Fox NFL analyst Mark Schlereth. Welcome, Stink.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here.
What should the Giants do with Odell?
Well, I would look at this. I would look at my team in general. Now, first off, nobody's untouchable. Eli Manning started however many games in a row, and they decided to go Davis Webb instead of Eli Manning. So nobody is untouchable. I understand that aspect of it. I always look at the receiver position as somewhat of a dependent position. You can be a dominant player and never see the ball if you can't block people, if your quarterback can't get rid of the football, if you can't run the football, if you don't have play action set up, and all those different things. I look at Odell Beckham Jr. with the off-the-field antics. There comes a point where your production and the problem issue, where the problem side of the equation starts to outperform or outdo the production side. And for me, I would look at Odell Beckham Jr. and look at my roster in general. If I can get rid of Odell Beckham Jr., if I could trade him and I could get draft picks or other players that could potentially make my football team better, then that's the direction I think I would have to go in if I was the Giants. I called one of their games late in the season. They were pathetic. They've got a nice young tight end in Ingram, who's a good young player.
I like him.
But you look at their offensive line, you look at their running back situation, you look at their linebacking situation, they have got holes all over the football field. I think they've got to still have some good secondary players. I think their safeties are pretty good. I think some of their corners are really good. Coming back from injury, when they get Jenkins back and get some other guys back. But the bottom line, they've got holes across their roster, especially offensive line-wise. And if you could trade him for assets, for valuable assets, players, and draft picks, coming off that ankle injury, that's exactly the direction I would go.
John Mara could have made this very simple, Skip. He could have said, Odell Beckham's not He didn't say we're not trading him. He said we're not shopping him.
He did.
But we are open.
Yes.
And if you want to come in and do some business, just let me know. So that's what he's saying. And again, Odell didn't finding himself. He said Odell keeps finding himself. Odell keeps creating these situations. Odell is a grown man. Odell keeps telling us he's matured. He's going to grow up. It's time for him to be a leader. He knows what's expected of him, and he expects better of himself.
Yep.
But here we are again, not talking about the monster game that he had, not talking about how he helped the team win, get into the playoffs. We're talking about off-the-field behavior. And John Mara's looking like, hold on, wait a minute, dude. You keep telling me that you want a new contract. You acted like this when you were making $3 million, $4 million, $8 million. I cut you a check for $50 million, then what? You're going to really give me your butt to kiss. If I'm John Mara, I'm going to call this bluff. I'm not doing no deal. Now, if you want to sit out, sit out. But guess what? We still going to be, fans still going to come to the game. They're still going to put us on TV, so we still going to get our money. We'll see how long Odell can stay without playing. Because you remember, Skip, Le'Veon Bell, so he was thinking about retiring, and then he realized, like, where's somebody going to make $14 million a year? Well, I'm not going to retire. I just won't show up to anything that's the Steelers asking me to do other than play football week 1. Odell, time out, bruh. Time out. Your actions on the field is not conducive to winning. Your actions off the field damn sure isn't conducive to winning. And as we say, Skip, production and tolerance, and we hadn't seen high production in a very, very long time, and we can't have tolerance over production.
So we have, with the Giants, a new regime, a new direction, a new day. And I would use that operative word if I were the owner of the Giants. I would say I am shopping Odell. I am auctioning Odell to the highest bidder. And if, in fact, somebody was gullible enough, somebody was desperate enough to give me a first for Odell, he went 12th. He was the 12th overall pick. But if you'd give me a 1 for him, I'm out of it, man, because he has proven to me with a 4-year pattern of behavior, no matter how supremely gifted he is, and we know about all that, he is more trouble than he is worth, because it is constant trouble, and it's not only trouble off the field, it's trouble often on the field. I don't get it, because the best show Odell puts on is his pregame catch routine, the circus act he puts on, and it's fun to watch, man.
Yes.
I'm mesmerized. Does it translate to production on the field? Not really.
It does translate to production, Skip. It doesn't translate to wins.
No, it doesn't translate to wins. So they have yet to win a playoff game with Odell on the roster, because the one playoff game they played in, he led the wide receivers south to South Beach.
Right.
They sunned themselves on a yacht to prepare for a game up on the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field,
and you know
a
what?
playoff game.
And there were everybody in that organization, to a man, said, not a big deal. It was his day off. It was this, that, and the other. And then there was a bunch of drops by all those receivers in that game. One by Odell Beckham Jr.
One
that should have been a touchdown.
Yep.
And guess what? After that game, everybody said, if you're going to go out to Miami, you damn well better produce. And I'll use what my good friend Jerome Bettis says it all the time. If everywhere you go it smells like poo, it just might be you. You know,
It might be you.
It might be you.
Can you imagine if Odell had pulled this stunt on your team in Denver as a young player? What would you guys have done?
Well, I think, and that's the thing, you have to have a culture that's structured.
Yeah.
So when young guys come in,
Yeah.
we compete for championships.
Yeah.
We ain't competing just to try to win 8 games. We're trying to win championships.
Championships.
And so the locker room was conducive to
correct.
winning championships.
Right.
What we say, Stink, don't mess up my hat day.
Yeah.
Don't you cost me my hat day on Friday, because we didn't have to we won the game. We didn't have to wear helmets on Friday. Don't you cost me my hat day. Tito Paul cost us our hat day at the Giants. I ain't never forgave him for that.
Really?
He gave up that long touchdown. Yeah, he did. Tito Paul, I know you watching. You cost us hat day.
Okay, and he's no Odell Beckham Jr. And by the way, remember, Odell made it clear, I don't want top wide receiver money. I want top player money. He wants more than quarterbacks make. Really?
$28 million a year.
Whew.
So in other words, he want Kirk Cousins money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You better believe
With that
it.
behavior?
You may not be shopping, but you're actively listening right now.
Yeah.
If anybody's calling, we are answering the phone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you know how sometimes, we're not open just yet.
Yeah.
And then they hold up the money. Okay, come on in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mark, thanks for joining us.
Yep.
Jeff Fisher was real petty this weekend, and we'll discuss that next.